told me about it. He's having a party and we're all invited. Me and the boys are dressing up as evil monks.
Yeah? Cool.
Okay.
Ever hear of a guy called Karzak?
No, sir.
Do you know anything about the eclipse?
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I heard it's going to be pretty spectacular.
It's in a few weeks' time, isn't it?
9 days.
Thanks.
Wait, I clicked the wrong thing.
Ever heard of a guy called Karzak?
No.
Okay. So there's explosives in the cupboard. And what else is there to do here? Nothing. Let's talk to Nico. Something useful.
Do you have any theories about this stone?
I think that design represents a dog, a Mexican dog.
So, this is the sacred Chihuahua stone? Sheesh. Take a look at this.
Mon Dieu! Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Ubier's house. Take a look at this.
An eclipse of the sun. Why the sudden interest in astronomy?
I found the cutting in Ubier's house.
Apparently, it's only visible from Central America.
I'm gonna sacrifice some people.
Take a look at this, Nico.
That's disgusting, George. Why are you carrying it around with you?
I don't know. I just can't seem to part with it.
I should have made a joke about, would you like to see my little worm, before I brought it out.
Guess what this is? Go on, guess.
It's wrought iron, probably from a chimney stack on an old stove.
Well, I suppose it could be. How did she know that?
My grandfather used to work in a foundry.
Would you like a biscuit?
Gourmet dog? Have you been eating those things, George?
Sure, they're great. Labano tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely, you know.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something?
Okay, well at least that was brief. So I want to get some explosives, but I'm guessing I can't at the moment.
I had nothing else to talk about.
Right. Well, maybe if you take off your pants, she'd pay more attention to you. Alright, let's get out of here. This game is not as efficient as the first one. Like the first one, when you click to leave a map, you just go straight away. I mean, there's no point watching the characters walk to the other side of the screen. Like, there's nothing to be gained from wasting that time. Alright, so we can talk to Pearl. What else is over here?
George Stover,
Okay.
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
When you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged.
Okay.
Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
Okay.
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoil sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own?
Well, there's no point in going to the pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Is Dwayne still working for the CIA?
If he is, he doesn't know it. He's what they call a snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No, this is different. He used to think he worked for them, but the psychotherapy cured him of that. What he doesn't realize is that now he really does work for them. At least that's the way I understood it.
That's
What
Awesome.
brings you to Quaramonte, Pearl?
What takes me just about anywheres. The market.
You drove 2,000 miles to go shopping?
Shopping is my role in the economy of the great design, George.
What do you make of this stone, Pearl?
Oh, that's pretty. What's that thing supposed to be, a rabbit?
I believe it's a coyote.
Well, it sure is cute.
I was surprised she didn't ask me where she could buy one. What does this mean to you, Pearl?
What cute little feathers. Why, if you had two of those, they'd sure make nice earrings.
This isn't intended for frivolous personal adornment, Pearl. It's a dart, tipped with a fast-acting, muscle-numbing poison.
Pardon me, I stand corrected, honey.
Sometimes I got the feeling that communication with Pearl was like sending signals out into space. Maybe, if you waited long enough, you'd get an intelligent answer back. But it was a long shot.
I can't believe this guy has the nerve to call someone else stupid. I mean, you've been seeing what he's been doing, right? Here, wanna see my little worm?
Look at this, Pearl. A tequila worm.
Don't you bring that thing anywheres near me, honey. I swear I'll scream like a hog on a hot plate.
Take a look at this news cutting, Pearl.
You'll have to read it to me, George. I left my specs in a gay bar in Santa Barbara.
Well, it's about an eclipse of the sun, which is due to occur in a few weeks' time.
You'd think the government would warn us about these kind of things.
It's not dangerous or anything. Apparently, the best place to view the eclipse is right here in Quaramonte.
Oh, my.
She didn't appear to be the slightest bit interested.
Of course not. Why would she be?
What do you make of this statue, Pearl?
Woo-wee, that's a spitting image of Dwayne's brother Sheridan. A little less body hair, maybe, but it's him all right.
Sheridan
Catch you later, Pearl.
is the god of death and destruction. That's amazing. How big is this map? Wow, look at this. This goes on forever. And there's there's Dwayne. This place seriously does go on forever. Okay, let's go to the police station. I think the band guy is stuck in here or something.
Hey, Nico!
Yeah, like this walking. Can I click? No, I can't even skip it.
I have done just as I have been instructed, Professor.
You whoa.
With the mine closed down, there'll be no one around to observe your excavations. Ah, I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
Well, that was not suspicious at all.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, senor. Welcome to Quaramonte.
Thanks. My name's George Stobart from California.
But what is this? An angel come down to earth.
Nicole Collard. Enchanté, mon général.
Pardon me, senorita, but I couldn't help myself.
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
You've come to the right place, senor. Tourist information. General Grasiento, at your service.
Would you like my panties?
What do you think of these panties, General?
Oh boy, fabuloso!
They're yours if you'll tell me all you know about Karzak.
Karzak? I never heard of him.
Oh, that's a shame.
Get the panties now. I told you all I know.
You told me nothing.
That was interesting.
This is the tourist office? It says police on the sign outside.
It is both, senor. I am a man of many parts.
I can see that, General.
I hear there was an accident at the mine a few months ago.
That's correct.
A lot of men killed, weren't there?
A few.
30?
Barely 1% of the working population.
Wait, 1%? Your working population is 3,000 people? That's it? How big is this place?
Is it true there's a restriction on music in Quaramonte?
Yes, there is. An emergency measure introduced by Nuestra Senora.
Folk music is a link with the past for some of these people. Take away their musical roots and what do they got left?
Easy listening.
You think easy listening could replace a musical heritage hundreds of years old?
Why not? It happened in your country.
Yes.
Are there any ruins around the city?
Of course, Signor. Quaramonte has everything.
I have a friend who wants to visit an historical site.
Ronaldo will only be too pleased to conduct a guided tour. When he's dealt with today's paperwork, of course.
Right.
Who was the guy you were talking to when we arrived?
Professor Ubier. A visitor, Signor, like yourselves.
Did you say Ubier?
Si, Signor. Professor Ubier. A French archaeologist.
Interesting.
What's Ubier doing in Quaramonte?
Researching our rich and glorious past, Signor. The professor is planning an expedition to some Mayan ruins. He came to see me to get an excavation permit.
And you blew up the mine to make sure he gets it.
We've had enough of Quaramonte and we want out.
Am I stopping you?
The guy at the docks tells me I need an exit visa.
Ask Ronaldo. He'll make the arrangements. That's what he's here for.
Would you like a biscuit?
Are you trying to bribe me?
Well, every man has his price.
Mine is more than a dog cookie, Signor Stobart.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
That's a native carving, isn't it? Where did you get it?
We picked it up in the market as a souvenir.
Take a look at this label.
Si, Signor. Condor Transglobal.
Can you tell me where to find their offices?
No, Signor. I never heard of them, and neither did Ronaldo.
The lady at the mining company told us a ship belonging to Condor was here recently.
Conchita Garcia is crazy. If there had been a ship, do you think I wouldn't have noticed?
Fascinating.
Are you sure you never heard of Condor?
Oh, yes.
The company is registered here in Quaramonte City.
You are mistaken, Senorita.
The musicians out in the square say that a ship flying the Condor flag
I think
was
you should
berthed
stop
here.
pushing him.
They are simple peasants. They will go along with anything you say in the hopes of parting you from your money.
Condor is run by Karzak, isn't it?
Wrong again, Signor. Karzak has nothing to do with anything called Condor, whoever he is.
Do you keep a record of companies registered in Quaramonte?
Of course, Senorita. Unfortunately, all the records were destroyed by a flash flood.
Do you know anything about the forthcoming eclipse, General?
Such things do not interest me, Senor.
I'll be back.
Okay, well, isn't that interesting? We can go that way, apparently. Or we can try to. There's a safe and there's a monitor. There's a television. There's papers.
I had no need for junk mail, especially someone else's. A couple of special offer letters were strewn across the desk. The television was showing what appeared to be a low-budget soap. A tall man with long blonde hair was shouting at a woman who was naked apart from a towel.
Wow, that's interesting.
I decided to leave the television switched on. It was a computer monitor with some kind of outdated game displayed on it. A safe was tucked under the desk.
I'm guessing we need to come back at some point to look at this stuff.
Senor. Leave the child alone.
Okay. There's Ronaldo. Right. Let's talk to Ronaldo.
Hi, I'm George Stobart.
Hello, senor. How can I help you?
Are there any ancient pyramids near Quaramonte?
Si, senor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's perfect. Would you be willing to give a guided tour of the ruins?
I can.